Hi Aries, here is a general look at your solar chart for July 2014, and the energies are going to shift a bit this month for all of the signs due to the move of Mars and Jupiter, but more on that in a few minutes. First of all, the overview, and here, well, there could be a lot going on right in your own backyard or within a locality if you're not at home, but sort of in and around HQ, a lot of attention there, and you can be more successful teaming up with another rather than going it alone, which is more your thing. Also, working one-to-one, that kind of thing, but definitely answers to questions can come through what others know. There may be some ongoing inner tensions about something which kind of bugs you, but you've preferred to keep quiet about it. But the new cycle of Jupiter and the new moon hold the promise of a more creative, outgoing, entertaining, even romantic time ahead, particularly over the next 4 weeks due to that new moon. And so any tendency to inner pondering will be balanced by a more engaging and distracting sort of environment on the outside, and that's going to be more in the second part of the month. So that was the overview. Now there is quite a lot of Uranus and Pluto activity going on in July, and so this could provoke tensions for all of the signs, but particularly the cardinal signs. And it always relies upon, your natal chart and where you're at in your natal chart. But there can be surprises or changing conditions related to your locality, property, family members, and just maybe it's a community. So, but because of those energies of evolution and change, life could be taking you in a different direction. It could even be it could even be about the past. It could even be to do with conditions related to the past, which are now changing in the present. And this is just part of this ongoing, very, very long phase, really, cycle. Yeah, cycle of Uranus and Pluto very strongly affecting your sign. And now, but this month, with the move of Jupiter, things will be improving over this next 12 months because Jupiter is coming into a terrifically positive angle to your sun sign. So that's good news. And now, until, this is the long version, until the 23rd, the focus is going to be around an HQ, the base of operations, but also you will be feeling a little bit more inward, more introspective, thinking about things. So just listen to your instinct about whatever. And then Mercury and Venus are both in the same area until around about mid-month, very outgoing and chatty area. So there's lots going on, a lot of distractions going on, gossip, maybe more paperwork though. It could be paperwork, could be correspondence. And just be as clear as you can about what you're saying, but also make sure that you're very clear on what someone else has said. And then with Venus in there, it's likely that you get this nice sort of warm feeling coming from friends or mates or family, members. It can be like that, siblings, or it can be with like soulmates. And you just feel like you're really clicking with somebody. And it's a nice energy for if you've got to talk your way out of something, or if you need to negotiate for something. You can do better now. You can do better. But you could definitely be considering a legacy of some kind, particularly from the 13th. Tradition, maybe thinking about the past, parents, and it can be working like that. Or you could be busy within a space to do with property matters, to do with a venue, to do with the garden, if you got one. It can be like that. You're much busier within a community, particularly from the 19th. So that's when the Sun, Mercury and Venus are all in the same place, although the Sun does move out of there on the 23rd. But there can be really this sort of within the castle walls, you know, sort of, and feeling this quite warm, supportive energy that is within the parameters of the long-running transit of Uranus and Pluto, of course, because Uranus in your sign means that this is a time of huge change, which in its wake brings periods of uncertainty and even jitteriness and nervousness, you see. So that's within that kind of, comes under that umbrella there. And there will be every now and again a little bit of a need for you to be flexible and have your wits about you because of this energy of change, which is quite strong over the Sun and Mars in the first part of the month, and also touches on to Mercury and Venus in the second part of the month. But it's not like things are going to be all over the place. Now, on the 23rd, the Sun moves into a very creative, more outgoing area. So not so much the introspection of before, although Mercury is going to be, and Venus is going to stay in there. But that might be you enjoying a place or a space or a community or a tribe or a family, sort of family feeling. But really, really start to enjoy it a lot more from the 23rd. And that's when you get more opportunity to party. I call this the house of fun. And it could be a little bit romance coming away if you're looking. And also there's more of a feeling of leisure, entertainments, particularly in the last part of the month. A little bit of luck, a little bit of fairy dust coming in there because of the Sun going over Jupiter, which is going to be good, a little bit better maybe for the fire and the air signs, but it's going to be good for all of the signs. And you are a fire sign, so try and make sure you're in an environment with the potential for having some fun. Now Mars is moving from your opposite sign Libra on the 26th. Been there for many, many months, 7+ months, meaning that interactions with others, whether those are with other humans, it could have been with pets, you know, it could have been with something that you sort of, as it were, partnered up with in the way of work or a pursuit or an activity of some kind. It doesn't have to be a human being, but a really, really strong interaction going on there, needing, you know, demanding your physical stamina, your physical ability, keeping you on the move, keeping you busy, but also sometimes you having to be, you know, Mars does have a short fuse, so you having to be a little bit more patient, not be hasty, not dive in head first, sort of hold back with your energy a little bit, you know, because others may seem to you to be dragging their feet, but actually they're just going at their own pace. So, and not being overwhelming. So you'll have been understanding all of that and polishing up your people skills over this 7+ months. Now Mars is going to move out of there on the 26th and moves into this different area where it's coming into the same area of Saturn, and Saturn has been for since October 2012 in an area which is about transition, but it's about clearing the decks from things that you've outlived, that are no longer relevant. And this can be major or minor, but it's always ticking away in the background. And these can be old approaches, old beliefs, old habits, old conditioning, old job, old place on the map, I mean, just things that you no longer relate to. Because we're constantly changing and evolving, being, you know, part of a huge, infinite, creative universe. So nothing stays the same. And this area is about the letting go that comes along with not staying the same. So Mars comes into this area here, but because Mars is heat, Mars is initiative, Mars stirs things up, Mars likes to take decisions and take action, then there's going to be some acceleration in this area here, probably of this clearing the decks and sort of feel this sort of wave. Also, it is an area to do with property matters, financial matters, and you know, that kind of security which relies upon another. So you don't have a free hand here in this house, which is the 8th house. It relies upon another's advice, another's, you know, probably quite confidential advice, or another's decision, another's mood, another's value system. So there's a huge deal going on here about the transitioning, but on the way as well, the letting go maybe of an old set of values, an old value structure. And oftentimes it's to do with coming up, right up against the wall of somebody else's rigid value structure, that one has to find a way to soften or to sort of get over, or somebody else's really strong morals as well. Or if it's not like that, it might be an outside agency's systems. You know, their system think, their system speak. And there's no way around it, except you will find a way around it, because this is the house of transition. But that Saturn does rule hard objects. So it might be like you're hitting your head against a brick wall and you've just got to suck it up and, you know, and not spit it out. You know, you just got to suck it up and swallow it. But at the same time, you're doing something else maybe which is giving it more of a sense of freedom, more of a sense of, okay, I'm doing what I choose in my way here. You see, even though their set of rules, their setup, the agreement you wrote, or rather you signed with them, you see, is still ongoing because of this slowness of Saturn. You are slowly, slowly, slowly going to come through the other side and having a fresh perspective and turning over a new leaf. And you Arians born in the middle 10 days or with 15 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And Jupiter is moving on the 16th after a 12-month stint in the roots of your chart, and creating more of a sense of belonging, maybe fitting in, or relocating some of you, and then this feeling of slowly, you know, the equilibrium coming in. But also that might not be like that. It might be I've been with family, extended family, tribe. This feeling of getting access to sort of a family group, a tribal group, or a location or a place on the map which you prefer, which you learn from, which helps you to feel expansive. Now Jupiter's coming out of there and going on into the area that I sort of call the house of fun, and is going to be there for 12 months. And so you can work that one in lots of ways. You can play that card in a lot of ways, but it is a lot more self-indulgent. It's more extrovert. It's an area where you learn through being a bit self-indulgent and burning the candle at both ends. Or another way it can work is through, because it's the area of the child, so it's through children, it's through young people, young energy, it's through creative pursuits and projects and ideas, it's through enterprises, it's through anywhere where you get those competitive juices running, flowing, and you take a bit of a risk on something. But it's also through hobbies and leisure pursuits and anything that makes you feel good, like sort of joining a dancing class or something. Yeah, maybe speleology. So and then you grow through that, because you feel the power that these activities, whatever it is you've chosen, start to bring to you. Anyway, that's the kind of vibe that Jupiter is coming into there, and it's very, very strongly aspecting your sun sign in a really bright, positive sort of a way, giving you a break, you know, really, with you know, other things going on, and you taking up a new pastime, you know, a new pursuit. But oh yes, I should mention it is also the house of romance. So this appreciation, this empowerment might be coming to you because you're in, you know, an amazing new relationship, or maybe the old relationship gets sort of reactivated and reawakened if it's needed it. Yeah, I think I better stop digging this hole for myself. There's nobody else in the room. So to give me the feedback, I mean. So, yeah. And over the last 10 days, there is going to be this lovely, lovely energy coming from Jupiter. So again, I'll say, you know, make sure that you're in an environment where you can work that energy to the absolute max. But don't overlook important details. And don't burn the candle at both ends if you can possibly help it. But yes, a lovely new cycle for Jupiter to be in as far as your sign is concerned. And that's it. If you know your moon sign or your rising sign, listen to those. And if you want to check up anything, you can find this written on my website. And I'll see you the next time.